What is going on, you lovely people? It's your boy Roll of a Queen, and I am joined by a lovely, special, scrumptious, delicious, handsome, and flavorful guest. Prime Gundam, would you please introduce yourself to the channel, my brother?
Guten Tag, mein dude. Konnichiwa, players and floor lines. What it do? What it do?
All right, y'all. So the Comms Code Authority is back. Elvis will be here. AJ couldn't join us, unfortunately, because he's busy with work. But yeah, man, we had to reunite because Streets is going crazy with all this news. And Prime, let's not waste any more time, man. Let's jump in with the first topic. Listen, Trans Superboy. Let's talk about it. So Mags Visaggio put out a series of tweets alongside a link to a pitch that had the timeline in cahoots. So now I'm going to come at it from my point of view. I thought the pitch was not bad. It seemed very well thought out. And I think my only gripes with it was, obviously, just the typical trope of, certain writers coming in and making very drastic changes to, legacy characters or established characters. But, despite how I feel about it, there was a lot of discourse on the timeline. And, Prime, I would love to get your input on it, and then we could do a further deep dive on the topic. So what were your thoughts, brother?
All right, yeah, sure. So, when I saw it, I had a little chuckle to myself because, timing is always a thing, right? And so I saw the treats. I skimmed through the pitch because I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't stop laughing because when I saw when I saw the art here that you have on screen that they did, and there's another one there, I think that was a line art. I saw that, then I saw the writer side by side. I looked at the character design there for Connie, looked at the writer, and I just couldn't help but laugh. And it's double down to the thing that you said, that there is a certain trope now where writers take characters that they didn't create, and instead of thinking of ways to tell stories would fit with the character or how to utilize the character more best, they feel it's more advantageous to just make the character them. In some cases, it depends on varying levels of it. In this case, I would argue that this is a 1-for-1, the character being the writer. And it's so heartbreaking because when they initially pitched many years ago, I remember right around the time when they were gearing up trying to put more focus and shine back on Kal-El, that they said they had a pitch where the idea was they wondered how it would be to live in Superman's shadow as a clone and the toll that would take, and having to live up to those expectations. And I thought that sounded like a very interesting pitch. Little did I know that they left off one of the key points of that pitch was to make Connor trans, which is the writer themselves is also trans. Now, as you said,
Prime. To be fair, I'll take this than Tom King simulating suicide for the 15th time.
They're both bad.
Trans Kal-El. No, to be fair, Trans Kal-El. Yeah, sure, why not? He's a fucking clone.
They're both bad. Now, could the story
everyone
work?
Everyone accepts Ultimate Jessica Drew. That's all I'm gonna say. Everyone accepts Ultimate Jessica Drew.
Well, could the story work? I would say it could work out of continuity. Yeah, anything you can do anything.
Why not? You can do sorry, but Kal-El is a non-entity. He's pointless. He's useless. Let's just do whatever we want with him. Who's clamoring for more Kal-El? It's not the 90s anymore.
Someone who read Kal-El.
I read Kal-El. I like Kal-El, but
in the 90s.
in New 52, in Rebirth, in Dawn of DC, he is a pointless character.
As someone who's followed Connor for many years, I read him throughout his adventures in Hawaii, as well as him with the Ravagers.
His cast no longer exists. His cast no longer exists anymore. Where's Tana Moon?
as well as reading him within Young Justice, as well as reading him with Teen Titans, as well as reading him with Adventure. So I have some connection with the character.
Me too.
And
I love
as I was saying, I just feel like you didn't make the character, and if you're just gonna, if you only way you can tell a story is again to make the character just a one for one for you, maybe just go off and do an original character. And to your point about Jessica Drew, they didn't gender swap Jessica Drew. Jessica
They
Drew
kind of
came out as a she. Like they didn't.
They totally did. So.
If you,
I'm
if
sorry,
you,
that's a clone of a man. That's a
if you
clone
make
of
a clone
man.
of a man, but you make the clone a female, then that's just a cis female.
That's it's pretty dicey area. All I'm saying is that, you know what? Yeah, it's either this or it's at least is an idea that could again. I know that we're all. I don't know if you touched upon how like terrible Tim Drake is now, and he's always been terrible. I'm not.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring that up after.
Tim Drake has never been an interesting character. Point one. But you know what? Khan is so malleable nowadays. I want to see something done with him. Okay, I don't want to see another '90s homage like vomit.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
well, you don't have to because there have been stories that have pushed him forward, like I was saying with Adventures comic book. Because what gets me is like the thing that she said that really pushed her to do this was to challenge, you know, Connor's identity. But Connor has had a lot of identity challenges stories that have been
just
done,
came
like,
off of a story where Connor was dealing with his identity.
I'm like,
who reads modern Connor comics? Who reads modern Connor comics? Let's be honest.
No. Wait,
no one does.
Wait. Time out.
Who still reads these?
Regardless of if anybody reads it or not, we just came off of that. It just happened.
Did it happen if no one read it?
It doesn't. People read the shit, bro. Like I know.
I haven't heard anyone on the TL.
I know. Listen. All right. Here. Okay. Hold on. Listen. Just I always hate this narrative, and this is not just like me coming at you. I hate this narrative of just like because the timeline isn't talking about it, it's not being read. I do believe people are reading that book, and regardless of if we feel people are reading the book or not. The book came out. It is in continuity. We just came off of that story. Like,
what is continuity?
Again, we're not playing the semantics game. The story just came out. Like that's by also another thing too. Just like we just came off of a story like this. Just came off of one. So like for us to like retread that again, I think
no. See the thing is, when was this pitched?
This was pitched. Give me a second. I'm looking at it right now. I don't think it says. I'm just skimming through. I don't think it says.
Because it's not again. If depending on when it was pitched, it's not again. It's a matter of instead. And and now if we're doing it for instead, you know, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, here's my thing. And again, this is gonna be me touching on like Tim Drake again. Connor and Tim Drake.
Who's writing Tim Drake book?
Tim Drake is over now.
But who is writing it?
Megan Fitzmartin.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, we nobody did. Here's my thing with Connor and Tim Drake, right? They both have fallen to the wayside as of lately. We were just talking. Me and Prime were talking about before, like, you know, Connor seems to have been fucked over by New 52, and Tim Drake has been fucked over since I think Rebirth. If we're
no, just make it fucked over since.
I know. Listen. I know. Right now, the last time people actually gave a shit about Tim Drake was that whole Detective Comics run, and then since then, both have been in like I don't know if you could call it limbo or whatever, but nothing has been happening with them, and they always, there seems to be this trend of, hey, nobody's paying attention to this character. Let's make a very drastic change that will only be hot for like maybe a month or two. Because I'm looking at the pitch right now. That was a thing. That was like, oh, this would be great for the news for like a month. I'm looking at the pitch right now. Yes. I'm looking at the pitch.
I agree. It's dumb, but the last time Connor was a character was like, I don't know, 2008.
Yeah. But
so that's when Connor the character ends, and Connor like the wasteful piece of thing that DC doesn't know what to do with begins.
Yes.
Well,
And
that's
then
the problem to the creative and editorial, not the problem.
Yes, but like at that point, like I maybe it's because I haven't read superhero comics in like 2 years. I've detached from it. Like I don't have any. I don't care about like what's going on. That I can like say like what like do something that swings for the fences a little bit. And maybe again if Vissagio, I haven't read most of her stuff, so I think that maybe like the stuff I have read, I thought like mediocre. But overall, I'm like. I don't care about like where this fits in because it's non-existent to me. Every time I see something like it's like a parallel universe where people still read comics. That's what it feels like to me. So I can I'm coming at this from like a third like point of view kind of perspective.
So that's your point of view, and that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But we have to look at the whole picture because it's not just your perspective. There are people who are actively more involved than me or you say that are reading the stories. There are characters who are way bigger fan of the characters you are. So like it's not just things happening in the bubble, and just because you're detached doesn't mean that everyone else is.
I'm just saying that like I feel like at this point, right? DC is so fucking boring.
And I feel like that's a really bad way to approach it. If you're approaching this not from the story standpoint, not from a character standpoint.
Like, let's be honest, it never exists. How are we going to approach it from a story standpoint if it never? If it was never written, how do we dissect it as a story?
If you're approaching something from that point of how can we grab headlines, then I think you're doing it all wrong.
The thing is, right, how it existed as a story. So all it is a headline.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. There's a
we got approach it just a premise. I'm approaching it as just a premise.
Time out. Because listen, I've read the pitch. I've skimmed through the pitch a couple of times, and you missed it. Like, I'm gonna give Visaggio credit. This is some well thought out shit. Like, if this is well thought out, like she has an arc 1, arc 2, she has an event. Like, this isn't just oh, we're gonna make Connor trans. Like, there's story here. Like, I think my main thing is just like at the end of the day, what next? Because after it's just okay, Khan becomes trans. Okay, now what next? What next,
bro? And art is this official or just fan art?
Huh?
Is this official or just fan art?
I believe they got
somebody to do
artists to do the art.
But like someone who was in the know or just
yeah,
fan art?
No, it's not fan art.
Someone's professional.
Okay, because this is really fucking good. I like this a lot. I think that this is his best look in like ever. I'm sorry, but I just hate the retreads of the fucking leather jacket. We gotta destroy the leather jacket. I hate it so much. It's not the 90s anymore, and you're not writing him like it's the 90s. His supporting cast doesn't exist and hasn't existed since 2005. If you want to do 90s retread, bring his supporting cast back. Fuck Static Shock.
And I definitely agree with you, Ro, that it has nuggets of something there. Because again, as we said before, she's just writing one for her. She's applying her experience one for one. And in a vacuum, like you said, like it's no problem, it'll be fine. But this is not the first time that they've had a pitch like this. And it's like they're constantly going back to the same well again and again and again.
So hold on, we got some comments here because the chats.
I do want to talk about Grayson Red's comment there about Superman. Yes, I've read a couple issues of Superman. I think it's fantastic, but Williamson is a hack writer who's going to fall on his face like 2 seconds from now. Bet on it. Bet $200.
Hold on. Let's go through these in order. Akuma, happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday,
yo.
Happy birthday. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Thank you. Grayson, let's go, and we'll get back to Elvis's comment. But thank you for being here. Akuma said it feels like they're running out of ideas with creative self-inserting their identity, but honestly, I care about Connie, so I'm not going to engage in fake outrage either. That's a very good way to approach it. Yeah,
good on you, Akuma.
For real. Tevia, thank you for being here, Tevia. As always, thank God this was rejected. Tevia said this storyline sounded garbage. Tevia letting the chopper fly. Nobody would read this.
Nobody did. It didn't exist.
I personally would have loved John. Hey, listen, we know how you feel about.
I am so, bro. You and me both. Like that's the one thing that I really wanted, especially from Rebirth. I wanted Aunt Kara and Uncle.
Yeah,
Kara.
no, that's a shame. I mean,
like they just fumbled the fucking bag there, man.
Yeah.
And for like, you know what? They de-aged Franklin Richards like 17,000 times. They could do it to Superboy. Now we're like,
they're not. He has a boyfriend. They're not gonna do it, man.
Yeah,
they're not gonna do it.
Who's this guy? Again, they haven't made him interesting yet.
I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I'm just saying like they gave him a boyfriend. They're not gonna de-age him.
They're not.
They don't want to be problematic.
He needs a Steve Trevor style boyfriend. Okay, someone's who's in the shit. You're okay. You gotta have someone like that. Okay, not some weird little twink.
Don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started.
I'm sorry, but like he's so uninterested. No, he needs to really like start punching people. He needs to get have a sword or something. He needs to be in the shit.
So I mean, dude, Jon Kent needs to be doing that.
Who cares about Jon Kent? Who cares about Jon Kent? Okay, we got his boyfriend needs to be really cool. As I read Wonder Woman for Steve Trevor. Okay, that's me. That's who I am.
So here's my thing. So when what's his name, Jay? When Tom Taylor was pitching the character, and he talked about how he was gonna have someone be like the opposite of Lois Lane. The most I got out of that is like, bro, you sound like you just really hate Lois.
Exactly. And he should be more like Lois. Lois is in the shit.
Right. And then your solution was to make a character like 10,000 more boring than Lois. Like, is that was your solution?
Like,
he'll never be a damsel in distress. He'll never be rescued, so he'll never actively do anything in the story.
The thing is, right? Like
be annoying.
Needing to be rescued and being damsel in distress are mutually exclusive. Like, yes, Steve Trevor is like the perfect fucking example. I don't know if people hate him, okay, but he's perfect example.
You expect people to read comic books, sir?
Exactly. But like, he's like the perfect example of how to do like a male love interest perfectly because he's he does need to be rescued, but he's also like pulling his own fucking weight. Like,
and I mean,
like Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, like they're both doing their own like thing. Like Steve Trevor can stand alone. Wonder Woman can stand alone.
I don't understand this weird thing where people think that every character in a comic book has to be a combatant or has to be a superhero, has to get super. No. It's okay to have civilians in your story. That's fine.
And that's actually really cool because then you get like a varied cast. If you
get juxtaposition, like exactly. One of the things I love about superhero comic books is that you get the juxtaposition of the fantastical with the heroes like everyday life and how they have to navigate and try to merge those two worlds. That's one of the reasons why Superman and Spider-Man are two of my favorite fucking characters, because they can get really fucking ridiculous, but they have to always bring it back down to their civilian cast. It's like when you lose that, when it's like, oh, well, everyone has to contribute, everyone has to fight, everyone has to have superpowers, then that becomes fucking boring.
It does, because you remove that that nuance to things, like
you need a what's it? I forget what the terminology is, but like you have to have a 0.0 for a character to return to. They have to have a state of normalcy before they launch into their next adventure.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like I think to kind of like divert from the John thing, I was like, listen, personally, like I know Elvis wants like a more like cool badass boyfriend. The cool badass person.
I don't want to say badass, but I know
what you mean.
I want to say adventurous. That's good.
Yeah, like interesting. How about let's start there.
The person that needs to be interesting is that nigga right there. Yeah. The one that's flying around.
Oh, who like John? He could be like in every 2 pages, and in this Adventures of Jay, and he's like pulling out the big scoops. He's like going undercover in like a crime ring, something cool like that. And then Jay will be around, like John will be around like a panel saying "Good job," and that's it.
And you know what? And that's another thing that bothers me, because I also feel like this is a lost art now in comic books for a lot of writers. It's like if the motherfucker's name is on the title of the book, they need to have King Dingling moments. Like,
of course. Oh my God, yes.
Like, I mean, maybe I'm old school, but like, I hate to use this example because I use it a lot. But Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right?
Amen.
She had a lot of stronger characters around her. She had like Willow. She had John. They had all interesting characters. They all had contributed. They all helped. They all did X, Y, and Z. But when it came time for the King Dingling moment, who got the King Dingling moments?
Her.
Exactly.
Her.
Exactly.
But let's divert back because we got a couple more comments. Tevioso said, why not make a new character who could be a trans character for Super Family?
That would never work.
I'm gonna be honest. Superman Family's overbloated.
It did.
We have enough.
I think it was a mistake to put New Superman with Superman family. I think that instead we should get back to the JLC. Let's bring him back. Okay, it's enough time. We've grown. We've accepted that it's a fantastic book that we were all wrong about.
I would be on board with it, JLC.
Sorry, but like I think bringing in Keenan to the Superman family kind of destroys his purpose.
And isn't it kind of weird that Keenan's hanging out with Superman and Avery's hanging out with the Flash? But where are the rest of those guys?
Exactly. Like it's so lame. Like I feel like it's a shame.
Isn't it weird? I was kind of saying that a tad bit racist. Like what? Y'all don't like the other Chinese people?
Well, there's no Aquaman family book to shuffle it off to.
Yeah, there was for like 5 issues. Anyways,
pouring out for like all right.
What was that called?
Get to that point. Get to that point. It's like about a new character. It again, that speaks also to a wider issue where people think that new concepts won't work, and they think the easiest way to get an air quotes accepted is just to grab it onto an existing character. But it's not like we don't have a playbook where a lot of the times that's been fucking rejected. So I don't see why they keep repeating the same thing over.
But like a new character wouldn't also be rejected anyway. It's the same cycle.
It is. But I often feel a lot of times like the appeal would be easier. I feel like the appeal would be easier if it was a new character.
I mean, listen.
No, it's it may be like 5-10 years ago, but now.
I'll say this one thing I am seeing. Because what's his name? I don't know if anyone of you guys are reading the We Are Legends books. What is it? I don't even know what that is. It's a new line of DC books, and it's just mostly focused on like Asian characters. Spirit World is a great example. Like the main character is trans, but they're telling a pretty cool and fun story. And dude, people are enjoying the fuck out of that. Like, and that's a brand new character. There was no attachment to previous characters. It's just brand new. Like they got their start in Lazarus Planet, and then they got their own like 6 or I don't know how many issues many. I'm reading it right now. It's pretty good. And
also to be fair, like a lot of times when they do get new characters that even have like, you know, a small following, like that Sideways guy, Silencer, Primer from that young adult novel book. It's like they get new characters, people show interest, but then they fumble the fucking bag. Like y'all bullshit now, but like you remember when Yara she first premiered, like a lot of people were on the Yara train. What happened to the Yara train?
To be fair,
DC didn't know what to fucking do with her.
No, to be fair, Joella Jones fucked that up.
I mean, that's fair as well. The book delays and shit that didn't.
No. But like, she also decided not to do anything with Yara Flor being a Brazilian.
Yeah, that was an issue.
That's a worse. That's actually a better example than this non-existent Connor Kent pitch for like writing yourself into a book, because she basically like used her own backstory for Yara Flor, even though Yara Flor is like entirely fucking different kind of character conceptually, and so these kind of destroyed everything that was like unique about that character concept. Meanwhile, you know what, this character concept. Again, I keep looking at this kind of like I would fucking read this book just to see what's going on. But Yara Flor, you read the book, you're like, oh, it's gonna be about Brazilian Amazon. That's so great. And then it's about like some girl who's from Pittsburgh or some shit.
Yeah, no, and like they fumbled that. But like I said, to circle back, I think again we have a good example. I think Spirit World is a great example of that. Like new character, they're trans, and the streets is really getting behind this character. Like I can easily see a scenario where we see more of this character like moving forward. This, like I said, if it's somebody different, cool, and like I said, there is some solid story behind this, but overall, I'm over it. I'm personally over it, and I think DC did a right thing by just like not moving forward with this bitch. And I do got to give a shout out to what's his name, Emo Scott Pilgrim. That nigga been fighting for his fucking life for the past 24 hours, trying to get the timeline behind it, and it's not working. And I'm not mad at them. A
lot of times to them, I feel so sad.
I'm not, and the reason why I'm not mad is because listen, I don't care if it's I don't care if it's overused at this point. People have fresh PSD from the last time something like this happened. It happened. Well, Jon Kent, I'm not even gonna count because Jon Kent was there's just enough there I don't want to touch. But let's just say Tim Drake. Tim Drake, like I said before, was a character that was floundering. Nobody had nothing to do. There was nothing for him to do. All of a sudden, oh hey, let's just make him die. And then we all saw.
Yo, do you guys hear this news? Keith Giffen died.
No.
What?
No.
He died. They announced it. Yeah, and as a joke at first, and then a bunch of like legit a fucking
What? Oh shit! Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Apparently the joke was was his last request. To say like, haha, I'm pranking being sick, and then that was the joke. And that is a baller. Like, oh my fucking hell! Oh my god, Keith Richmond is dead.
No.
What the fuck? Oh my god!
No.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was just reading that book, the Great Darkness. Oh no! Fuck, man.
Oh,
shit, dog.
What the
fuck? Man.
This is insane, man.
No fucking way, man.
Rest in peace, the real ambush bug, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh man. Oh, this is crazy. Damn. Well, yo, rest in peace to
Keith legend, man.
Oh man,
one of the best to ever do it, man.
The fucking glue holding so much of DC's like fringe together for a long ass time, man.
Gee, man.
Oh man,
what the fuck, man?
Yo,
you know what? I gotta say, it's a pretty funny Facebook post to go out with.
Yo. You know what? You know what? That is a good way to go. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh my! Yeah, apparently it was his last wish, and you know what?
You know what?
Fuck it. This guy, love him.
You know what? I'm gonna take a drink to that, yo. Cheers,
bless
man.
Up, bless
Cheers.
it, man.
That's a good way to go. You know what?
I can only hope. Yeah. I can only hope.
Cheers, man. Cheers, fucking cheers. But yeah, listen, to kind of end this. I'm happy we didn't move forward with it. Like I said, we have there's a lot of like PTSD behind like things like this. And listen, make a new character. And listen, and I mentioned this to Prime. Like, listen, Visaggio got what they wanted. A lot of people talking about it. It's hot in the SEO right now. You got people that are for this. And I think that's enough for her. The fact that it's a conversation, I think that's enough. That's enough for them. And yeah, I'm kind of ready to just like move on from this personally. Like we can do something different. We don't always have to revert back to this. I think that's where I'm going to end on that personally. I don't know if you guys got any final things. And also, I told Prime, like, it's kind of funny how this is all coming out on the week of National Coming Out Day. I think that was, I think it was intentional. I don't think that was just random.
Could be planned. That's possible. I mean, that's bullshit, but I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, because today is the day, the 11th. So, hey, but yeah, enough of that. Guys, we leave in Krakoa. We leave on Krakoa. We leave on Krakoa.
I left Krakoa like when Hickman left, man.
I've been gone, so you're gonna have to like. I know a little bit what's going on.
Yeah, so apparently there was a recent interview that not leaked, it came out. I think it's like Adventures in Poor Taste. And the writer in question said that now Marvel is like giving like the final order, so everybody needs to wrap up the Krakoa storyline because they're moving into something new. We already had an idea that something new was happening because I think like 2 weeks ago Marvel released something called something Powers of X, something House of X. So the breadcrumbs are already there, but it's nice that we're actually getting like verbal like confirmation. And Comic-Con is this weekend, so we're gonna see more what that looks like. I personally hopped off of Krakoa just like Elvis once Hickman left. But the only book I'm reading now is Dark X-Men, because I love ragtag teams and I love the premise of it. But I don't know, I've kind of just been I dismissed her X-Men a while ago, and I know there's like a big discourse on like, should X-Men return back to the mansion or should they go entirely somewhere new? I'm in the belief of these motherfuckers were out the mansion. Let's get them out the mansion. Like let's leave them. What do you guys think? Mansion, no mansion, or in general, what do you guys think about the next phase of X-Men?
I'm gonna be real because that's one of the questions I always had when Krakoa started was how are they going to get the toothpaste back in the tube? That was my question. But like, I definitely agree with you. Like, if we're out of the mansion, like, I actually don't think there's no going back there. The DNA of the franchise has changed so much. Like, I feel like they have to do something new. They have to do something different. What that looks like, I don't know because I don't know what a lot of the current state of the books are right now. Like, I know that they had the third Hellfire Gala. And I know Nimrod dropped the people's elbow from space, and they're all
hey, that shit was raw. I read that shit. That was raw, bro.
Yeah, I saw the pages. And Kitty's gone full commando mode. So I'm really interested to see, and Emma Frost is having a fake marriage with Tony, and so like I'm really interested to see what the next status quo is going to be like. Because like I said, I definitely agree with you. Like there is no going back to that mansion. Could they go back to the match? Well, I'm not saying there's no. There's if there's a will, there's a way. They'll find a way to jigger rig them back there.
Yeah.
But I feel like I think they've outgrown it. They got to do something. Like can't just be that school anymore.
Yeah.
At least in that form, I should say.
Like I consider Krakoa like I consider Alfred being dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's such a big status quo shift that they've continued to go with. Like I may not have enjoyed a lot of the stuff that came out post Hickman, but the fact that they're still in Krakoa and they're still crafting stories around that to the point where they even like suckered me back in with one book, I appreciate that. And I think once you ring that bell, you can't unring it. Like I feel like going back to the mansion would be like going 5 steps back. And I've it's no secret. I hate the way Marvel does things, but listen, we do have books where X-Men are in the mansion again. They have what is the legacy books where they keep, what's the name? Claremont keeps coming back and all these other old creators. And there's books where you can still get that range of X-Men. But I think after this, I don't know if it's going to be Krakoa, but whatever the next status quo changes, yeah, stay away from the mansion, bro. Like you can do something different. We don't always have to revert back to the mansion. Like God knows how many stories we'd had from the mansion. Am I tripping? The first X-Men book I got into was they were in the fucking mansion. Actually, no, they were in Utopia. That's when I got it. They were in Utopia. They're not even the fucking mansion. So
right. So
get them out.
So just my question then, like, what do you think that status quo should look like? So like, would it be like, because they've been at the mansion before, because they've been in San Francisco, they've been in Utopia. So like,
you know what I think?
What would the mission of the X-Men be going forward?
What do you think, Opus?
Children of Adam, Volume 2. Okay, everyone loved that, right? Everyone loved Children of Adam. It was fantastic, right? We all agree. So let's do more of that.
Give me the Cliff Notes, because you know me. My X-Men knowledge is not.
It's Vita Ayala's like most fucking terrible book I ever fucking read.
God
I think she's a great writer. She's a great writer, but just terrible.
Terrible
book. Mandated.
You know how far removed I am, because when you said Children of Adam, I was like the video game. Yeah, the X-Men game.
No, it was this thing where like now it had been planned like for like early Dawn of X, I think.
Oh, you mean the cosplay X-Men?
Yes. Yes,
oh!
and it was clearly editorially mandated because it was passed around and it was delayed for like 3 years before finally coming out, all that shit. And you know, it has such a great concept, and they did not do anything interesting with it. And I think that they should bring that back, do more of it. I think that we should give it another chance, another try. But holy fuck, those characters are just totally boring.
I mean, how do you can you see them crafting an entire like line out of that?
Yeah, it's like integration this time. It's been doing integration. Let's do that.
Okay.
You haven't tried it before, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personally, for me, like I said, I'm still kind of removed. I mean, I don't know, like if you're not gonna do Krakoa, then I don't know. If I can set up a base in, I don't know, New York, I don't know, set up a base and do something. I don't care. Like for me, as long as the story is compelling and they're not in the mansion, I don't give a fuck.
You know, I was about to say something real tasteless.
Say it.
I can't because the current events. Because my thought would be then, since they've been scattered now because of the events of the fall of Krakoa, and there's no longer a mutant homeland. I mean, I'll shut up.
Aren't you glad though that they're no longer racist and that white weirdos on the culture war are no longer going to be upset that the X-Men are racist? Quotes. The X-Men are racist. Me as a white man is too offended by the X-Men books to read them. Thankfully, they're no longer racist anymore. Krakoa is gone, right? They'll come back, right?
I mean, I
would love for them to be a little less antagonistic because I still got the fresh in the back of my mind X-Men Fantastic Four like they're kind of in the wrong in that situation. Kind of in the wrong.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. Hold on. I was with them. I don't know. I like spicy X-Men. I like spicy X-Men.
Me too. I'm thinking like it just feels like such a downgrade in that way too. Like this is something that I hate those fucking fandom menace people. I hate comics.
Maybe like I don't mind spicy, but maybe not so goddamn aggro. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
Because they've been hella aggro recently, and I'm like, I don't know about what y'all doing over there.
Yeah, I think I mean, personally, for me, when I first started with House of Powers, because that was like my first real introduction, like into the X-Men. Like I knew of them, but I didn't really get invested in them until then. Like how I saw it was just like, okay, they're establishing the status quo, and at some point, they are gonna piss off the wrong people. To the point where maybe we get a variation of Avengers versus X-Men, not the same, of course, but something along the lines of, okay, like you guys are legit oppositions to the rest of the superhero community. I was expecting something like that, but obviously, they went in like multiple different directions, and I know they had plans of like other books.
It's
but
so clear what's happening though.
What's up?
They're bringing them back to base one so that they can have them in time for synergy with the mutants. Whatever.
Of course.
And it's so boring. And just kill off half of them. Kill off 90% of them. Let's just do it. Let's just massacre them just back to the main basic team and be done with it. Let's stop all this. Like, what's going to happen? It's so clear what's going to happen. And Marvel is such a fucking boring shit show.
Yeah. And and Marvel is not shy with doing synergy. They are very loud and proud about that. Like a movie will come out, and then they will fuck up the line to make sure it is in line with that movie.
Did I tell y'all about that? I was reading a Miles Morales Spider-Man book right around the time the Jessica Jones TV show was coming out, and at the end of an issue, I'll never forget this shit to the day I fucking die. At the end of an issue, Miles is on a rooftop talking to Jessica and Luke Cage, right? Jessica had her brown hair, and she looked like Jessica had looked for many years. That TV show came out. The next month, the next issue came out. In the middle of a sentence, her entire appearance changed to look like TV Jessica, and I'm like, come on, dog. Come on, man.
I think who I think is the worst at synergy is fucking Mark Miller. I hate him so much for it. Sorry, but no one was fucking calling Gary Eggsy in that fucking Kingsman miniseries, the original one, right? No one was calling him Eggsy. That's only for the movie. And in every other appearance, he's like, oh yeah, Eggsy. Fuck you. The Kingsman isn't even like a thing in the original miniseries. They're literally just James Bond spies. That's it. There's no such fucking thing. Stop it, you piece of fucking shit. I hate him.
I mean, and here's the thing, movie synergy, it doesn't do much. I don't know why that hasn't gotten through the heads of people up in editorial. It doesn't move the needle. Just because you line up things with the movie release, it doesn't mean we're gonna rush to the fucking comic book shops. The sales still stay the fucking same.
And you know what? Out of all the stuff that people are like, oh, I can't believe you're insulting the fans. This is actually insulting the fans because they want to keep reading their characters that they like, but now they keep being mangled for the products, for the movies and TV shows. It's not like
where it really should be the other way the fuck around,
Exactly.
Yeah, no. So I think it's silly. But now that Elvis mentions it, it does make sense. But here's the thing: even if they are going to do it, I can easily see a scenario where that fucking Mutants movie is not coming out for another 2 or 3 years after this. Because they keep
2017, 2027 at the moment.
Yeah, they keep pushing shit back. So I don't know, man. It's weird, but like I said, I'm okay with whatever the fuck that they do as long as it's interesting. For me, when me and Elvis bowed out from after Inferno. I said the only way I'm going to come back to this book is if something interesting happens, like something groundbreaking and something that's going to make me like, damn, I kind of want to jump back in. Fall of X was, I guess that was my way, because again, I'm only reading one book, but still, like, if I'm going to really jump into this new phase of X-Men, that shit got to be compelling as fuck. That creative team got to be on fucking point. Listen, they need to have their house in order. Because listen, I think what happened with Krakoa is just like people were on board, and then there were too many cooks in the kitchen, and then boom, that's when everything collapsed on itself. I'm surprised this shit's going on this long. I'm surprised it's going on this long, bro. I expected the X-Line to fucking collapse, but somehow, some way, Marvel was able to make something work.
Elbow grease and spite, I feel like.
Yeah, so somehow, some way. But like I said, I don't care what they do. Just, hey, make sure it's good. But like I said, hey, it's time. Krakoa had a good run. Krakoa was like 2018-ish to about like what, 2023? That's a good run. That's a good run. I think everybody involved, including Hickman, they could pat themselves on the back, because let's be honest, a lot of initiatives don't last that long. They don't. Once the sales start to dip, they like, oh no, but they kept going. So I'm gonna give them their credit where credit is due. So we'll see what's coming out of New York Comic Con. That's in a couple of days, and we'll hopefully have like a clearer picture. But yeah, I guess we can wait and see. Next up, y'all. Next up, we got some spicy Aquaman news.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I gotta get this in. Let me go first.
Go.
So when the therapist said he showed up to set dressed up like Johnny Depp, I pulled up a picture of Jason Momoa, and I went, "That's how he normally dresses." Though.
No, that's the thing. If you read the article and the actual notes, it's like she had sense memories, because it was more that he reminded her of Johnny Depp because of his style. Okay, not that he came up looking like Johnny Depp, but that he looked like Johnny Depp to her. Okay, not that there was anything other than that. But that doesn't make fancy, headlines. So it's easier to imply that just Mamoa was actively trying to trigger her or some shit.
And you know what? I choose to believe that, because that's funnier.
Yeah, and also because Jason Momoa gives me ick vibes. So,
listen, I am gonna preface this by saying, yo, all of this is, I know it's wrong for me to say this, but fuck it, it's my channel, and I can say it. What the fuck you guys gonna do? Clip the shit? Listen, all of this is alleged. Nothing is confirmed. And you know how these stories go. One person will put it out, and then the rest of the trades will follow suit. Conflicting stories and all that. For me, I don't know, man. I feel like this is just another way to get buzz or attention around Aquaman 2, because the motherfuckers can't promote it.
I'm sorry, but I don't think announcing that everything was fucked up on the set is gonna be good promotion for Aquaman 2.
Hey, listen, bro. Listen, it's good SEO. Listen, because now when you click on Aquaman 2, this is what you're gonna see. Like I said, it's good for the SEO. It's good for the search engines or whatever. For me, I'm not trying to minimize anything that may or may not have happened. I don't know. For me, I even read the same report. Jason Momoa dresses like a regular nigga to me. I don't know. It maybe that's just me, and that could just be it. What Elvis said is he just reminds him of her. Him coming drunk, I don't know. I don't know Jason Momoa. I don't have enough to base it on. If he did or did not, I don't know. But I guess it's an unfortunate situation. But again, I think all of this is just I don't know, more ways to get more buzz around the fucking movie. I don't know, man. This is just it's been such a shit show from the jump. And I do feel bad entirely for the Aquaman 2 people, because I think people I don't think I stand alone here. People are really looking forward to this movie. People are really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Aquaman 2. I enjoyed #1, and this movie has been in developmental hell for God knows how long.
Even longer than fucking Shazam 2, man. Because I think even before the pandemic, there's going to be a 5-year wait.
Mm-hmm.
They I don't know, man. I feel like
WB is the stupidest company.
Yeah, they should have fast tracked that.
Stupid.
You want to hear my crazy idea for a DCCU?
Go ahead.
My crazy idea is that everyone gets their own series that's on their own universe, and then the Justice League movie is like a Crisis on like 6 Earths kind of thing. And that way you have solitary trilogies that's in their own world and don't have to worry about bullshit. They can come out wherever they want. And then you do Justice League, that's a multiverse movie that, they Crisis on 6 Earths, classic Silver Age thing. And so it's like that.
I don't know, that sounds
I'm not mad at that.
No, here's the part that gets me.
That way they can all do what they want.
Here's what gets me about that, right? It's like it's such common sense that why hasn't it been done? It's common sense.
Because WB is the stupidest fucking company.
I think that like if you want like a big lived-in DCU, read the fucking comics.
Yeah.
Sorry,
watch the mini cartoons that also have
the mini
universes.
Yes, watch the mini cartoons.
You can pick a universe. You watch the DCAU. Watch Young Justice. Watch
Static Shock. Watch Static Shock. Yes, I agree. We all love it.
There are plenty of universes already that exist.
Static Shock is
yeah,
I gotta rewatch that show, man. It's so good.
Yeah, so I definitely do agree with that. It's just like, hey, just very common sense, like 1, 2, 3 movies, and then put everybody together. And because here's the great part: it's like if you actually take your time and make a really good trilogy, everybody from those pocket fan bases is gonna show up for that Justice League movie. And then you can actually stand a chance to do what the fuck you've been trying to do, which is beat Avengers. Right. But then again, taking time and properly planning things out is something like WB is fucking oblivious to do. So,
but Ro, I want my yacht now. I want it now.
Man, you can get your. It's sweeter when you work for the yacht and everything is well timed. The reason why we're in this situation now is because these motherfuckers wanted their yacht 2 days after they fucking put out these projects. It don't work like that. And now here we are. This potentially great movie. It's been a developmental hell. The only good thing we've been hearing, the only things we've been hearing about it is behind the scenes drama. It's fucked up, and that's for everybody involved. That's everybody. I like just for Amber Heard. That's for Jason Momoa. Like it's fucked up. And let's not even talk about the cast and crew too. Like it's fucked up.
Did you all hear the reports that people were walking out of test screenings?
I don't believe that shit, bro.
Yeah, I think. But people always walk test screens. But if you go by every fucking thing.
Here's my thing, though. If that's true, then that means that baby's fucking dead, and I'm gonna see the new times.
No, I don't think. I think it's they walked out because the baby didn't die.
Bro,
I would walk out. I'd walk out if the baby didn't die.
Because you're a comic book fan. Like I feel like the Normans would be upset when the baby dies. Like that baby has to fucking die. It has to die. And if he dies, and he has to die, Manta has to kill him. And if he does, I'm gonna see this shit 10 times. I'm gonna buy this shit on Blu-ray, Betamax, and 4K. It's gonna be my movie of the fucking year.
I mean, here's another scenario. Let's play with this. What if they like in the entire movie, they tease, they're like, oh, the baby gonna die. They really had you on the edge of your seat thinking this baby gonna die. And then they pull a fast one on you. I can see a reason why people would walk out.
Or maybe it's just really boring. Another thing in particular, like I like the first Aquaman, but it was like on the fucking 0.00% edge of being really fucking boring. Okay, so and that movie was kept afloat by one thing only. Okay,
until your pun.
Yeah. Anyway, was one. Yes, okay. It was one thing only. Okay, and that was just being really, really silly. Okay, but that movie was like 3 hours fucking long. Okay, and so it was like a razor's nice edge. And I can see that this movie might be trying to be more serious, and that's a huge fucking mistake because it's fucking. There's not a lot there. Jason Momoa is not a great actor. Amber Heard is not a great actor. The script to the first movie is not good. Okay, it was only kept afloat because it was really, really silly and very buoyant. Like, fuck. Okay. Another pun.
Untend them. Let them fly. Let them fly.
Buoyant, and it had that energy to it. I'm not saying that you can't also be like have like a very serious movie that just wants to be, but I'm saying like I feel like it was very indulgent, very self-indulgent in all the worst
very
ways.
Self-aware.
Yes.
Very self-aware.
Yes.
It knew what it was.
I'm gonna be honest.
And I think that maybe this is just is tipped over the edge.
I'm gonna be honest. What kept me engaged with that movie? Listen, I don't know. Y'all don't have to agree, but Amber Heard is some elite milk, yo. I ain't gonna hold y'all. And Aqua and
I'm not gonna.
What's his mom's name? What's his mom's name?
Kidman, Nicole Kidman.
Oh my God, elite milk.
Yeah,
elite milk.
I can get behind that. Yeah,
I'm not gonna disagree with that.
Yeah, like that's what kept me engaged. And
why did I say Catwoman? Why the fuck did I just say Catwoman? What am I thinking of?
You thinking of Michelle Pfeiffer?
I'm thinking of Michelle Pfeiffer. My bad. My fault.
Yeah, you got the milk mixed up, brother. It's okay. It's still milk. It's still milk. It's good. Nah, but yeah, listen, this sucks, bro. Like this sucks. Oh wait, Blackwing asks, yo, what's the toe facts on, man? Oh, I already done the research, brother, extensively. They're positive, very positive, very positive, and I made sure I added to the wiki feed rating.
You know what made me realize something, that Amber Heard is a person of character. Okay, because for like 10 years, the world's business man alive was obsessed with her for like insanity, and like she still didn't. It didn't work out between them. So she's a woman of character. Okay, she has good morals. Okay, she has principles. Because the richest man on earth was obsessed with her for like 15 years. Okay, so and she still didn't give in too much. Okay, so I can tell she got good soul. She got good soul.
My dude, that means
she's going to heaven.
You probably have to see new colors when you hit that. Like there has to be
Yo,
she got you breaking mathematical formulas mid-stroke. It got to be something, dog.
Yo, speaking of which, y'all seen the part of the reports where it says Elon Musk had to make a call?
Oh, that's so. He's such a pathetic weirdo, man. He's so pathetic. That's simp behavior. Okay.
Listen, the idea that Elon is like mixed in all of this is like fucking hilarious to me.
First of all, the idea he thinks that he has pull is the funniest part to me of that whole story.
What?
Like, what did they think he was gonna do?
Like the part that he thinks he has pull. That's the funniest part to me.
I agree.
Twitter warriors after them. Come on, man. You know the vibes.
Fuck. If I was in office and it's like, sir, Elon Musk is on the phone for you, and I'm like, hang it the fuck up. Elon, don't keep the lights on around this bitch. What the fuck you calling me for?
Yo, that's crazy. The fact that his name is popped up in all, I think that's probably why it blew up. Because Elon is always in the headlines. And I think that was just a great way for them to like generate the buzz and like get everything going. I think that was probably it. The fact that Elon was involved. But yeah, sucks for everybody involved. Prayers for everybody. And yeah, enough of fucking that. Elvis is really gonna love this because
oh my God, I can't let's go off. Let's go. Okay, we're talking about Daredevil. Let's talk about Daredevil.
Yes.
Okay. I hate how many people are saying like, oh, all they need to do is make it like the Netflix show and it's be perfect.
No,
the Netflix show fucking sucked.
No,
it sucked. It was like 10% good. Like there's only like 10 good episodes after all 3 seasons. Okay, and it sucks so much. You can't just like, oh yeah, no, it'll be perfect because the Netflix show was not perfect. You're only remembering the good stuff about it and not all the insane, boring, stupid, ridiculous, aggravating, annoying subplots and writing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's been like what 6-7 years? Get fucking over it.
It's been a while.
Okay, get over it.
I thought the Netflix show was like watchable. I think here's my thing.
Blackwing's talking about. Ask a question. I'm gonna answer this one right now.
Oh wait, hold on.
What's that about? Let's go down the list, okay? Kingpin sucked fucking ass. I'm sorry. Everyone's like, oh, he was so intimidating, so suspenseful, so tense, and like, what are you talking about? He's like a crying, whiny crybaby the entire fucking show. Okay. Oh, just because he kills someone, it doesn't mean he's not having a tantrum. Okay. He's still having a little baby tantrum. It's annoying. And sorry, but Vincent D'Onofrio was a fantastic actor. And whoever did not tell him not to put on a stupid little voice every time he speaks was like not his friend. Okay. It was trying to get him fired.
When I was a boy.
When I was a boy. I'm sorry.
Be a man. You're a man now.
Rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan. He would have been. perfect Kingpin. Okay, rest in peace him. He was intimidating. He was a great presence. He had charisma, something that Vincent D'Onofrio, who has all of these things and other things, does not have in Daredevil. Okay, at
listen, all. If Homeboy
Karen
is still
Page
alive,
sucked. Karen Page sucked. Yeah, go ahead.
If Homeboy, what's his name? The other one, the black.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yes, if he was still alive, I would say bring him back. Honestly, I remember that movie very well.
Yes.
And he sticks.
He was
out
the best part
more.
of it.
I'm an outlaw. Yeah, come on. He's so cool. He's a cool guy.
He stuck out to me more than Vincent. Like that's not to say Vincent was bad. I thought he was fine. But I thought he stuck out to me more. And listen, there's a bunch of motherfuckers coming back for that Deadpool 3 movie. I'm just saying, if anybody could come back, I say it's him. Just saying.
Oh, okay. But let's go.
I mean, give AI enough time. Don't.
Bring Colin Farrell back as well. The better Bullseye. I'm sorry, but Bullseye in season 3 sucked ass. He was boring, overly stupid, annoying, and also he was really bad at being Bullseye. I'm sorry. I know he wasn't Bullseye yet because they showed that final scene episode where he's like, oh, see, now he's really Bullseye. Well, I'm so great. You showed him being a worthless, lame sub-villain for 10 episodes. It was really worth it. I'm glad you wasted Bullseye like that in the show that got canceled. But he would be I don't know what's so fun about oh, he threw a stapler at Daredevil and Daredevil blocked it. That's so cool. No, it's not. I'm sorry, but Colin Farrell killed a woman with a peanut. Okay. I'm sorry, that's cool. This is not cool Bullseye, okay? Also, Karen Page was annoying. Elektra was boring, had bad actress. The build-up toward the Defenders was bad because it turned out that season the Defenders was just really boring, so that was all pointless. It's just a really badly done show. And the entire Netflix subline had a lot of very fatal flaws. We can do better. You don't have to just repeat what Netflix did because what Netflix did wasn't even that great. That's all I'm saying. You guys still there?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I know. I think you went off. I think your mic kept buzzing. I think he's gone. All right.
No.
Nope, you're going in that, Doc.
Anyway, yeah, Blackwing. That's why the Netflix show sucked ass, except for 10 episodes. I got more enjoyment out of the fucking She-Hulk episode than I did out of most Daredevil episodes. Yeah. And you know what? Because it's hey, look, this is Daredevil as he exists mostly. It could be done better, of course. This is a sitcom, but I think that was a good jumping off point.
Oh, all right. I'm back. Okay. My thing with Daredevil is that it was watchable, but it suffered the same flaws as a lot of the other Netflix shows. You watch it once, you're not compelled to watch it again.
Yep.
It's a one shot, one and done. And I hate the idea of, let's just go back to that because I don't think that's feasible. And we already seen how those shows turned out. So I like the idea of them just scrapping everything. It sucks because I think they got pretty far along. But the idea of us not seeing Matt in the suit until episode 4 fucking baffles me.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
We're still doing this in 2023.
Yeah,
you know what? I don't mind it because I think people let's be honest, it's gonna be 18 episodes. Okay, do we even know if they know how to pace 18 episodes? 4 episodes out of 18 sounds reasonable to me. Okay, before we say anything. All right, but also people are also against it because he's gonna be just a lawyer for 4 episodes. You know what? The lawyery stuff in the first Netflix shows terrible as well. I'm sorry, he has maybe one actual lawyer subplot, and it just becomes a really bad speech at the end where he's like, justice is when you have to tell the truth but not lie, and also I'm a good person and my client is not really that great, but I'm here because I need to do a job and justice, and that's the entire end. And that happened at the end of season 1, and then we never really get anything like that again.
They dropped that pretty quickly if I'm not mistaken, right?
4 episodes of more lawyer stuff, let's do it. Maybe he'll do it right this time. I would rather have lawyer stuff than like have to like just slam your face in with Daredevil stuff like from the jump.
Which I gotta say that report is pretty fucking funny when they said that they had one of the reasons why they were scrapping is because it looked like they was doing more of a legal procedural, and I'm like, what's wrong with that?
I think legal is fine if it's done right.
Exactly.
I think that's all it is.
You know what's weird to me is that people keep bringing up like She-Hulk in this, and I'm like, She-Hulk was not trying to be a legal show; it was trying to be a fucking sitcom. And you know what the funny thing is that if they had the writers had never mentioned in the She-Hulk interviews before the show came out that they didn't know how to write legal stuff, you would not fucking notice a single fucking difference because the legal stuff that happened in She-Hulk was exactly what you would expect from a fucking sitcom.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into like that conversation later. But yeah, because this news came out on top of the news that Marvel is just like they're doing a complete overhaul. So the following, what I'm about to say, we all knew it. They did not have proper showrunners on those shows. They just had people who were behind the movies being the showrunners, which is why a lot of those TV shows felt like they were just movies split up into chunks. So it's crazy. Elvis, like 10 minutes ago, just came up with a wonderful pitch for how to do a DC movie. It's crazy how common sense did not come into play with those Netflix shows. Those Disney Plus shows. Because at some point, the bubble is going to burst. I think Disney got in over their heads after Endgame. They were feeling themselves like, oh, okay, well, we're doing pretty good on the movie side. Let's have these people come in and handle the TV shows. But again, these people don't know how to handle TV shows. And it was only a matter of time before all that came collapsing because there's no reason why show after show after show after show was critically panned. I think the only good show or the only decent show that's come out of Disney is Loki. At least from what I've been hearing. No, I think Loki's the only one.
From the
MCU I don't like that one either. That shit sucks to me.
Of the MCU shows, here's how I rank them, okay? Actually good, She-Hulk. Sort of good, Miss Marvel. Only good for like 2 scenes, Loki. Rest are shit. Yeah. WandaVision sucks, Tevya. It sucks ass. It's terrible.
Yeah, WandaVision was rough. I think you know why WandaVision probably like gets a little bit more
white woman.
No, it's not even. I think Wonder Woman gets a little bit more leeways because it was like the first show to come out of like the wave, and I think people were just like blinded by the hype. But when you actually sat down and watched
it, is so bad.
It is
terrible writing. Good. I'm sorry,
it's not good. It looks great. It's shot wonderfully. I think it looks great. But I think the story is just like very boring. Again, nothing I'm ever going to come back to.
Blackwing, Anthony Mackie can't act. That's why.
I ain't gonna go on. I thought the story was just ass. I'm sorry. I thought the story was ass.
That shit should have been an hour and 40-minute movie.
Yeah, there was no reason to drag that on.
Also, let's be honest. Bucky should have become Cap. Okay, he should have become Cap. It makes more sense.
I think personally for me with Captain Winter Soldier, I think that really highlighted why they should have not gone. They should not have been so hasty to go from the blip to right back into reality. I think there should have been a section of time in between the blip and when everybody came back, and maybe they could have reworked Falcon and the Winter Soldier to work. Something like that. Like I think that could have worked out well, but I think what was you gonna say?
I was like, didn't they suffer some rewrites? Because wasn't there a virus plot that they had to write out?
Yes. Oh yeah, because that was right on the time COVID was out. So
yeah, but like that would not have saved the show because even that plot sounded really boring.
Yeah.
I think really the worst MCU shows, which is again everything other than Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, is you've mentioned, right? It's movie people, they're writing long scripts, so you don't really get a satisfying episode every week, or even a decent or mediocre episode. You're getting unsatisfying sliver of the overall story.
Yeah,
and you don't get to do that unless you're like David Lynch, who's chopped up his 18,000 page script for Twin Peaks season 3 into 18 episodes. Okay, which is what he did, and we all respect it because he's a good filmmaker. And people making these shows, they're not experimental filmmakers like David Lynch. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they don't get to do that. Okay, they
just
need to make good shows.
Coasting by on brand and vibes. That's all they're doing.
I'm sorry, but there was no like innovative like storytelling, filmmaking techniques in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Okay, so you don't get to be a sliver of a story every episode. You get to be episode. Okay.
Yeah. And again, we saw it, like the pacing for all of these shows were just like bad, and then at the end of it all, you could leave with most of those shows feeling like, yo, bro, you could have chopped down like 45 minutes of it, maybe like even an hour, and maybe you could have got something concise. Something maybe is the key word here. But you know what? I'm happy the bubble is bursting. I'm really happy it's bursted because I think Marvel they've been feeling themselves a little bit too much. And if things like this is what's going to take for things to get better, I'm totally fine with that. And that's my solution to it. I think it's great that they're bringing in people to actually write these shows, because these aren't going to be one shots anymore. Because you know how every single time these shows come out, we're wondering about, when's the season 2 coming? When's the season 2? I don't think.
Oh my God, Loki, Blackwing! I forgot about Moon Knight. That's how bad that was. I forgot it existed.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, like, I don't think all of us were just like wondering, okay, is there going to be season 2? But I think maybe Loki's the only one that decided to follow through on that. But I think Marvel, their idea was to, okay, we have Endgame. We're going to throw out all these one-shot TV shows. Let's lead up to the movie. And I think that was a bad idea.
That was a bad idea because, it makes it a chore.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's almost like, let's say this, regardless of how people feel about like the pre-Endgame movies, you could literally just watch one movie or just stick with like one batch of movies, then you watch the crossover.
Yeah. Exactly.
Another batch of movies, then you hit the crossover. And if you want more context, you could watch everything. But it was a very streamlined process, and it didn't feel like a chore. Everything after Endgame, it felt like a fucking chore. You're telling me I gotta watch Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, Falcon Winter Soldier.
Oh my God, I forgot that fucking Miss Marvel and WandaVision are setups for the Marvels. I'm sorry, that's so stupid. That's so fucking stupid. And then they wasted like this perfect introductory scene from the Marvels in WandaVision. That scene, I think I mentioned this when I did a review of WandaVision. With you guys are on my own, but there's a scene in WandaVision where we like get a flashback to like the blip, and it's from Monica's perspective. Right?
I remember that,
and it would have been a perfect first scene for the Marvels, because then you get reintroduced, you get pushed back into the story, and you introduce these characters. It's such a perfect kind of step one, and then you have the Sage set up for the rest of the movie of like their dynamic, like what's going to happen. Is she still mad? Is she still reeling from Mother's death? How they're going to confront that? But they wasted it in a really shitty TV show.
Yep.
WandaVision was also the Marvels. It was for both. It was for both.
And then even for like, let's stay on that for a little bit. Like, let's be fucking honest. Like,
Doctor Strange did a miracle trying to make sense of that shit.
And even so, like, when you watch Doctor Strange, right? The only real tether to that is, okay, that thing happened. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I didn't have to watch a fucking 12 episode TV show to realize, oh, this bitch is crazy. Like, no. Like, you could have just, I don't know, maybe made it into a movie, or maybe like condensed it a little bit. Because we had the time, we had all the fucking money. Why not make WandaVision like a simple movie? Everybody's asking for like a Wanda solo. There's your fucking solo.
Or bring back those short one shots they used to do. Those like 15-minute things, Remember those?
Okay. All right. I never watched them. I always forgot about them.
Me too, because they're nothing. But like, you can still do that. Like, why not? You can hint at something. Maybe like make WandaVision like a 15-minute short film where like she's experimenting with like her magic, and then she like gets a little bit crazy at the end, and then poof, that's all you need.
Yeah,
you don't need. That's all you need.
Yeah, and then I think that's more digestible for people, because again, like for comic books, it's almost, how there's this whole thing like, it's too much work to get into comic books. Like, you can easily you can make the argument, okay, bro, to start with this, and then you can go from here.
Oh,
this right here, what's up?
I keep forgetting these things exist until they mention them in the chat. I didn't know. I forgot Werewolf by Night existed.
Oh yeah.
Stop mentioning these things. I feel like I'm going crazy. Like I'm Mandela affecting myself.
Did you guys like that shit? I didn't watch it. Did you guys?
It was better in Spanish. I'm sorry, but like listening to it
Oh.
in English was like the most annoying thing. So I watched it in Spanish, and in the black and white, it felt like this kind of gothic Spanish horror thing. It worked perfectly for me in that sense, but I could not bear watching it in English. It was so fucking annoying.
What about you, Prime? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I liked it more than the other Marvel TV shows, but it still is just like a hard mid.
Yeah, it's very mediocre overall. Unless you watch it in Spanish, which gives it that spice, you know, that's that sauce, caliente.
Hold on, we got one here. Tevia asks, what about Secret Invasion? Because personally, for me, that show was disappointing. Well, Secret Invasion has issues. Secret Invasion, we talked about it like briefly, but I don't think Secret Invasion could have worked. Period. The universe was not ready for that.
Not the way they were doing it.
Yeah, because they jump right into it. I feel like remember my pitch back when Ben was on, right? Last time, I pitched for Secret Invasion how to do it, right? You should just make a regular show, right, with no Marvel characters, and it's just a new cast. Like set it in like suburbia or something. Like do like a Rear Window kind of thing, where like like hey, like these, like it's like a Desperate Housewives kind of thing in the beginning, but then
urban youth.
Yeah, something like that. Something that that like triggers something in like the community, like that's weird, and then what characters start getting uneasy, and you kind of build up it there. Like there's like something bubbling under the surface, so people are kind of paranoid, and you don't really know who's going on because you don't have like cameo people coming around. Oh, that's cameo people running around, right? And it's I think that's a much better way to you guys simplify. You guys strike it down. You know.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I liked the comic. I just finished reading it like not too long ago. Like even the build up to Secret Invasion, there was a paranoia behind it. It's like, yo, like I hate that I feel uncomfortable like having you on the panel right now. Cause I'm like, are you a Skrull or are you not a Skrull? Bro, you can't jump into that. Like you can't do that. Like, first of all, the universe is still we're still figuring out how to deal with the world post the blip. You're missing a lot of key heroes that you would ideally use. And I don't know, it's a TV series. Secret Invasion is not a TV series. You don't do that. That's an
Avengers movie.
Not even an Avengers movie. You build up to that shit from like multiple movies across the board, like, or just you put the seeds in like years ago.
That sounds really boring. I think just making a stripped down story set in like Nowheresville with no characters it's a lot easier to do, and it's also like you can use that to build up. Okay, like maybe one of them gets to the Avengers and they're like that's the ending, or like you don't know like so you realize maybe what character shifts into someone and they head into Avengers Tower. You don't see who it is. You get that. Okay. I feel like it's doesn't need to be as complicated as it needs to be, but it definitely needs to be more complicated than whatever they did in the TV show.
Yeah. So that to answer your question, Tevi, that's what we think about it. But yeah, oh wait, hold on.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely fucking agree with that.
Wait, Tevi said, any opinion on Marvel What If animated show, because that show had so much potential. And honestly, I thought season 1 was interesting.
You know what killed it out of the crib? Okay.
What's up?
Making it MCU based. I'm sorry, but like you're making the show. You can use whatever you want. Why are you making it about a movie series, a movie franchise? It is already a what if. Like you use whatever you want. You have the entire properties of Marvel your state. Why are you making it just MCU stuff? Like even the Boys animated TV show, that one Diabolical, which is anthology, didn't only do the live action show. Like apparently there's an episode that adapts an issue of the comic, like in the comics universe, and like okay,
that was the best episode.
I agree, because the regular Boys show kind of sucks ass, so I can totally imagine that was the episode. But you can totally do that, and you know what? It's a what if. So you can say, okay, what if we had an episode that was actually based on or set in with like regular wild Marvel stuff, But no, you have to do like, because you're stuck in the movie universe, you have to do this stupid stuff like what if Jon Favreau was the main character for an episode? Stupid stuff. That's what killed it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think after Endgame, I was just like, I just don't care. Like
You
the
could have
only
gone wild
episode,
with it, but they don't.
the only episode I think I watched, or like a little bit of it, was the one where Chadwick was on, because I think that was like his last project before he passed. But that's it. I don't know. I tried watching the Captain Marvel Thor one. I fell asleep. Every time I tried to watch it, I fall asleep. I don't know. It didn't do it for me. But yeah. Also, Akuma said, I've given up on Marvel shows, catching up on random comic classic arcs instead, but not gonna rain on people's parade either. Yeah, that's honestly the best way to go. Don't stress yourself out, because there's nothing to stress yourself out over. The Doctor Strange What If episode was fantastic and super dark. I didn't watch that show. I don't know if you guys did, but I didn't watch
was that the one where it was the time loop?
Yeah, basically he's tricking out time to get what he wants, and he's basically like WandaVision except good.
But the bar is literally in hell, though.
Yeah, the bar is fucking in hell. But yeah, to wrap up the Daredevil conversation, yeah, honestly, if it leads to something good, I think Tevye or whoever else mentioned it, as long as it leads to something good, I'm not mad at it. And good, because I was really against the show to begin with. It just didn't sound like they had things in order over there. But again, I'm happy the bubble is bursting. Sometimes a bubble needs to burst for things to get set back on the right track. But last topic, y'all. The writer's strike is
talking about the Flash.
The Flash.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we could talk about let's do the writer's strike, and then we could talk about the Flash. So hey guys, it's over.
Yay.
It's over. I think I gotta pull it up, but a lot of the things that they had wanted, I think it's very fair. Like residuals are looking pretty good. They really cut down on like the AI shit, and it sounds like people are gonna get like a fair shake, because I think that was like the biggest thing, was like, these shows are coming out. We don't know what the residuals are looking like, or they're hiding the numbers. That's the other thing. But it looks like there's going to be a lot more transparency, and people are going to be a little bit more secure when it comes to their jobs. But I'm happy it's over. Personally, I'm just here for all creatives. Just making. There's no reason why you should be struggling as a writer, especially for Hollywood. That's just my opinion. If you're contributing to these like multi-million-dollar like industries, you at least got to be eating good, bro. You got to wake up in a room, you got to have food to eat and all that shit. So I don't know what you guys, we don't have to stay here, but any thoughts on like this shit being over finally?
Well,
people, their fucking money.
Yeah, exactly. Like to be honest, I hate people who are like looking at like the Aquaman 2 news or the Daredevil news saying, I can't believe they wanted extra money for this kind of stuff. Fuck you. Okay.
Yeah, no.
You can't really judge people based on the studio machine. Okay, that's all executive bullshit anyway. Okay, but the writers deserve money for the work they're putting in. Okay, it's still work, it's still a job, and it's still the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, the studios and the executives are still making $1 billion times more than they are. Okay?
Exactly.
So a little sliver more isn't going to break the bank. Okay.
No, it's not. Like, what is it? They probably, the people now, like, they probably see a fraction, if that, of what they're really supposed to be getting paid. Because these executives, like, dude, they're just there to sit there and look. Most of them are just there to sit there and look pretty. It's them that's doing all the work, like the writers and like the visual effects. And we already hear how those people are being done dirty, especially with them fucking Marvel movies. So exactly. I'm happy for everybody.
And again, you can't really judge the writers based on like this on the studio system, because it's all like basically executive mandates, and we've seen that time and time again. So we were like, I can't believe that they wanted money for like this kind of DC product or this kind of Marvel product. Guess what? That's a Marvel DC product. It's not really their own thing, okay? But they still deserve to be making money at it, because even if it's like mandated by like some corporate exec who doesn't know what they're talking about, they still deserve that money. Okay.
People deserve a livable wage. People deserve to put food on their fucking table.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then and also too is like, oh, the comments of, can't believe people wanted this for this. Yo, listen, you're still engaging with that fucking content,
right?
You're still, and you're this. I know we have the blue checkmark thing now. Motherfuckers is getting paid to engage and shit talk a lot of this content. So the reason why you're able to engage and get paid off of this content is because somebody literally busted their fucking ass to make it happen. Like people are working like 12, 15-hour days. You know, we heard everything that happened like Snyderverse. Like, there's no reason people should be living like that, bro. And then on top of that, you're telling me they can barely fucking live. Get the fuck out my face. Get the fuck out my face. But yeah, I'm happy it's over. I think we're waiting for the actors now.
Yeah.
They're still going through it.
Get them their money, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, KJ said people love cable for billionaires. Listen, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. But yep. Let's move on. This was a special topic we got to add in here because Simon Spurrier's Flash came out a couple weeks ago, and yeah, let's talk about it. So Elvis, I don't know if you read it, Prime. Did you read it?
No, I'm still back in the 1 minute war.
Really?
God damn.
That's a long minute.
That's a very long minute.
I'm way back there. Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna say mixed bag, but overall really great first impressions. The mixed stuff I'll talk about first.
Hold on. Please send me that picture because I want that as a wallpaper.
Yeah,
bro, I just searched that up right now.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Damn, that's hot.
That's clean.
Yeah, it is. But I think mixed bag stuff. Mike Deodato, this worst fucking choice for an artist this side of Greg Land for a Flash book. You need someone who can draw kinetically. Mike Deodato uses like Poser and shit like that, and he has very static images, and it's just really ugly. Okay, more ugly than his naked butt. Okay, because he posted for racism. So fuck him. Also, Spurrier, he is much more accustomed to writing like stories about stories. Like I think that's where he's worked best. Even in stuff like Cross, he'll write a story about a story where he'll be very kind of metatextual, very literary, and I think that also worked really well with his Hellblazer run. You know, John Constantine, right? He's very much every issue is kind of framed as like a story that John is telling. He likes that kind of mythological kind of fable, kind of you're reading something kind of texture. But in something like this and a couple other times that he's done this, it does come off as overly written. But I do think that it works spectacularly well with Linda, who is a writer, and I think that it just meshes. Like it kind of really feels like he has a definite grasp on like who she is, like in terms of temperament and personality and like drive. Her pages in this issue were like where it really like came to life for me. You know, I love the Linda stuff so much. But again, everything else I feel like it gets too flowery. It gets too much. There's too much description. And it doesn't help that Deodato's art is so fucking shit that it doesn't really flow with it. If you look at something like, again, his Hellblazer run or his Sandman issues, what he wrote, The Dreaming, the first miniseries or max series of The Dreaming, the art really works in tandem with the writing, and it just creates this kind of symbiosis. Meanwhile, here you have like really cramped, claustrophobic Mike Deodato staging, and then like the fucking dialogue and word bubbles and captions and descriptions are all fighting for space. It doesn't feel good to read, honestly. It doesn't flow visually. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I do like what they're setting up. I just think that this should have been a Barry run. I'm sorry, but like Barry, this is very kind of high concept, like cryptid kind of stuff. And if you go back to like the original stuff, that's Barry's bread and butter. He's like the science, a cosmic kind of weirdo. Okay, that it just makes more sense to be Barry. But you know what?
I don't know. That kind of sounds like 90s Wally.
Yeah, 90s Wally, yes. But if you go back to like the original Barry stuff, he was like, oh man, I've fallen into like the hollow earth, or oh man, I've gone to a separate universe where our lives are a TV show, or oh no, I found a man from 10,000 years ago whose race used to rule the earth, but they're time traveling to our existence to take over our world, and this is a ripoff of a H.P. Lovecraft story, and like stuff like that is happening every other issue. It's really fun stuff, and I just feel like this would be more up his alley. You know, I feel like this is the kind of thing that he should do if you just kind of if you want to do like a modern Barry run. But you know, it's still really good for Wally, and I really enjoyed the issue. But I really hope some of the stuff improves and fire Mike Deodato.
Actually, let me answer Tevia's. Actually, Tevia, I'm gonna answer your stuff as I'm talking about it. So for me, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I think it's very dense. It's very dense compared to the last two runs that I read. And I also it's also has like a more mature vibe to it. And even though as somebody like that enjoyed Jeremy Adams' run, I think I enjoyed that nice change of pace more than I thought I would. Because Jeremy Adams was very wholesome, very fun.
Right.
And I think now Spirit is like, okay, we got all that out the way. Now let's really get into like our mature bag. So I like that. I do like that there's a little bit of a rift between Wally and Linda, because listen, we just came from Wally going through all that bullshit, with Manhattan death metal, and then he had to find Linda again. And then we had, I'm gonna give Jeremy Adams his credit. We had a good almost 2 or 3 years of Jeremy Adams, him being a family man, him reconnected with his kids. So I think it's fair. I think it's very fair that we're doing something different. I think it's fair that, we're going to have Wally and Linda possibly have a little bit of a tussle. I don't think it's going to lead to divorce or anything, but conflict is good. If they're always being happy-go-lucky all the time, I think that would get boring. So I think that's why Jeremy Adams was good for a period. And that's why I'm welcoming Spurrier's, a little bit more serious side. Like I said, it is a little dense, and but it's dense enough where it's just like I get enough. Like issue 1 is enough for me where I can read that and I don't need to reread it again, and that's not a knock. There's a lot of comic books I read twice because it's very simple, and there's a lot of things you don't miss. You don't miss anything here. You don't miss anything here. The way Spurrier writes is like, I got everything I needed in one run. I know how Wally thinks. I know what's going on here with the family. I know what's going on with Mr. Terrific. And it felt like I was reading a book. That is a comic book, but I felt like I was reading like a chapter book. And I like that. I think it's a nice change of pace from all the other stuff that I've been reading. The art, I didn't mind the art. Like I said before, it's a nice contrast. Maybe there might have been somebody better for the job, but I think it works well with Spurrier's writing. Because again, I don't know if I would have liked it if it was somebody that was like very high colors or very bright, and then it's Spurrier, doing this thing. I don't think that meshes well. I think both styles blend, and maybe it might pop as we go into the art, because that's when we're gonna find out who these new villains are and all that. But overall, I enjoyed it. I don't mind that it's Wally still. I think we've had a very long time with Barry. And I think when Barry comes back, it's going to be special. It's going to be meaningful. And I'm sure Barry's going to be somewhere in the background cooking. Like, I know Barry's very absent right now, but Barry's going to be here some way, shape, or form. But I'm not mad at it being Wally. I think now is Wally's time. Like, we saw Wally struggle. Then we saw Wally come back, be a family man. He was very prominent in Dark Crisis, which was shit, but still, he was very prominent. And then now let's get into some conflict, because there wasn't really conflict. 1 Minute War was a conflict. 1 Minute War was a very fun, let's get together Flash family type story. But now let's really get into the nitty gritty. Let's really see how Wally struggles again without having to kill him for the 100th time. But yeah, that's my thing. I'm very excited for this run. I can already see where I can see potential here. Again,
y'all got me excited. I'm gonna pick this up.
Yeah, no, it's just really good.
Yeah. Let's just see. KJ said, yeah, Barry had a long run. Not mad at all. We'll get Adams trains. Yeah, man. Like, what is it? Before Williamson, New 52, it was Barry, right? Or was that?
New 52 was Barry.
It was, yeah. So like we got God knows how many years of that. Williamson came on. Williamson did 100 fucking issues of that shit. 100 fucking issues of Barry, and that went from like 2016 to like 2019, and then we're just not getting Wally back. So I think it's fair for them to let Wally cook for a little bit longer. And I think Barry's probably just going to be regulated to, like, I don't know, if the Justice League comes back anytime soon, they need something for him to do. He'll probably be on the League, and they'll probably do something interesting with him then. But yeah, I'm here for Superior, man. I'll be honest. I was mad that Jeremy Adams got taken off abruptly. If Jeremy Adams didn't get taken off abruptly, I think it would have been fine. But even in his last couple issues, he did a very good job saying goodbye. Very good job. So I'm not mad at that at all. It didn't feel abrupt to me. It felt like a natural passing on to the torch. And I will add one more thing before we close. I was worried because I thought Jeremy Adams did a good job with Wally West, but I'm very happy that somebody saw the potential that Wally West had from Jeremy Adams, and now Wally West is doing his own thing with is it Avery? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with that because I think Wally grew under Jeremy Adams. I think he grew. He wasn't just a little kid that was mad at Barry all the time. Like he was going on. He was Wally's sidekick, but he was also his own hero. So I'm very happy. Yeah, Ace.
Okay. I'm like, wait, Chocolate Wally. Okay.
Yeah, yes, Chocolate Wally. But yeah, so Jeremy Adams did a lot of good work. When I first was reading everything that was happening with Spirit, I was just like, damn, bro, he really gonna let Wally go to the side like that? I don't know how I feel. But no, somebody came up, snatched up Ace, and now he's doing his own thing. So I'm very happy for that. So Jeremy Adams came in, he did what he was supposed to do for the Flash family. I don't think anybody here can disagree and say that Jeremy Adams kind of put the Flash family back on the map. I think he put them back on them. He put them back in a good place. So I'm not happy. I'm not mad at it, and I'm here for Superior.
You did a great job, and you know what? I think Superior is going to do a fantastic job. I think this will up the strength for that first, because usually with Superior, you can tell from the first issue if this is going to be a rough ride or not. Like if he's like not on the ball, you get hit like a face in a mule. Like, yeah, he's a great writer, but some things he's just not capable of doing. I read this issue, I'm like, dude, this is some good shit. It's gonna be a great run. He's coming in with a plan. He has a motive, and he has a grasp of at least a couple of characters and just makes them sing. So I can't wait for this.
Yeah, same. But I think this is a good place to to end off. Hold on. Oh, I think we had a couple more comments. We can answer these and then we'll go. You said 9 years. Yeah, let Wally get more footing for now. What is it? Flash, Green Arrow, and Green Lantern ongoing. Love these times. Anyone of you guys reading Green Lantern?
No, I heard that it was getting fucked around with Night Terror, so I decided just screw it, fuck it.
Okay, yeah, nothing happened with Night Terror. It was like everything just went on hiatus, and then everything came back like it was nothing. It was nothing crazy. It's fine. They're still getting their footing in. I'll say this though. One issue in with Philip Kennedy Johnson's John Stewart story, that might be the superior book. He's cooking over there. But yeah, Jeremy, Steffi said Green Lantern, Jeremy Adams one has been fun. It's still early for me, still kind of dry. I think Adams just needs to find his footing. But it's not a terrible book at all. I'm here for it. But yeah, Elvis Prime, I'll let you guys take the floor with plugging your shit. Elvis, starting with you.
Okay, I'm Elvis at my twitter.com here at THC_SNICKMAN. You'll see me kind of go off about a bunch of stuff, and I have my own YouTube channel. I haven't updated recently. I'm trying to get something together for Halloween, and then hopefully for November, December, I got a couple things planned where I do either figure reviews or movie reviews and sometimes comics.
Awesome. Prime, you're up, brother.
All right, I'm Prime Gundam on the Twitter/X. I'm also a frequent guest and contributor on the Three Black Geeks podcast. This Sunday, me and CJ are returning to our show, the Morphin Metacast, where we talk about tokusatsu shows, and we will be reviewing Ultraman Gaia.
Okay. All right. And I think I don't know. CJ hit me up not too long ago and asked me if I was free. Are you guys going to talk about Cosmic Fury at some point, or did you guys do that already?
We are going to talk about it, but I have to watch it first, and you know how I feel about the production on that, where I'm going to have to giving myself a lot of space because I can't separate the art from the artist.
Hey, you might need to promote yourself into another plane of existence, Prime.
So let my one of my coworkers take over for me. I'm pretty sure she'll like it just fine.
Yeah, you got promotion though, even though we never see you anymore.
And then I'm completely written out, but it's a higher plane though. Like it's totally a higher position now, even though
you never see anything and you hardly speak.
Right, I can't be the White Ranger because that's racist, but I can have my second equal color. That's fine though.
You're the new bodysuit ranger. Yes.
Right,
boy.
But like I said, I gotta give myself some space to actually watch the show, but I gotta get there.
Yeah, please let me know when you guys do, because I do have some thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts as well. But yeah, this is me, Role of a Queen. Yeah, that's my Twitter. I'm just shooting the shit. Y'all know the deal. Comic books, booze, pretty free. I'm actually drinking some wine right now. But yeah, thank you guys for also just like checking out the YouTube channel. We are at 589, which is great. I think
you've been cooking, sir.
Listen, it's been fucking hard.
Yeah.
But oh my god, we're at 590. Whoever the fuck that just subscribed, thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you. So that's 10 to 600. But yeah, I got some content coming. I'm really trying to get that Doomsday Clock video out, but with the way that's looking, that might have to wait until 2024 because that's a daunting project. I'm having fun with it. I'm having a lot of fun doing the research, but it's daunting. And I know when I put that out, I'll be ready for rest. But
what I'm planning next is a Halloween style vid where they're coming out these omnibuses for Treehouse of Horror comics, some horror comics, and then I did one last year where it came out and I did like, hey, these are 10 comics that they did that they should adapt for actual episodes, and I'm gonna do that again for the next volume. So I'm planning on doing that, but it's work and I'm so slow at editing.
Yeah, listen, work will kill almost all the drive that you have, because just going from working 6 to 8 hours and you coming home and then you got to do all this other shit, it's a lot. So give yourself grace, brother. I'm sure when it drops it's going to be heat. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your project too. So yeah, please look out for Elvis's stuff. Please go support 3 Black Geeks and Prime. Yes, thank you guys for once again checking out the channel. Me and AJ should be back at some point to do the top 200, and hopefully Elvis and AJ can get back together for another episode. It's been a minute since we all three been together. Oh my god,
yeah,
I miss y'all together, y'all. Yeah, with the strike, nothing's been coming out. That's the thing. Everything's been like fucking dry. But yeah, we'll get back together very soon. But I gotta let these guys go, and I also gotta work on some shit. But Elvis, once again, thank you. Prime, it's always a pleasure having you, brother.
And rest in peace, Keith Giffen again.
Yo, rest in peace to Keith Giffen, man. Rest in peace.
Godspeed, Ambush Bug, man.
Yeah. Hey, I'll say this, man. I'm happy I was with you guys when we found out the news, and I'm happy we all got a laugh because I think that's what he wanted. He wanted us to have a laugh.
That's why he had to have been, because that's why his last post was like, when I'm dead, post this. Okay, it'll be funny.
Yeah. And hey, listen, it worked, man. So I'm very happy I got to spend that moment. It was sad, but I'm very happy I got to spend that moment with you guys. So thank you very much. But everybody who watched, everybody who's in the chat, I appreciate you. I try to be a little better at getting at all the comments. You guys were going crazy. I appreciate y'all so much. I got the same 4 or 5 motherfuckers that's in here. These motherfuckers show up almost every single time I stream, and I'm very, very, very grateful for you guys. But yes, thank you guys all for tuning in. If you're watching on the replay, thank you. Please comment on all the topics. And we'll get back at you guys really soon. Much love, much peace. It's your boy Role of a Queen, and this is the Comics Code Authority. We